Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're unpacking the absolutely wild 5-year academic record of Dr. Divyendu Sen. We'll be looking at how an early career researcher transitioned his focus from hyperlocal Earth sciences all the way out to massive cosmic mysteries, right between the years 2020 and 2026. It's a brilliant journey of scale, and we're going to unpack exactly how those dots connect today.
I mean, think about it. What on earth connects Rajasthan's ecotourism to interstellar asteroids? It's a totally fair question. How exactly does a botanist and educator scale his research from the literal ground beneath our feet to the stars above? Well, we're going to explore exactly how that evolution happens.
To avoid giving you major topic whiplash, here's our roadmap for today. We're hitting ecotourism in the pandemic, plant ecology and climate, the green desert paradox, ancient texts and time dilation, and finally, asteroids and the Alvarez hypothesis. Let's get into it. Just look at this timeline. It beautifully illustrates Dr. Sen's publication journey from 2020 all the way to 2026. You're not just seeing a list of papers here, you're looking at a literal escalation in scope. And what's truly mind-blowing is how rapidly this evolution happens. We move from immediate earthbound crises in 2020 to massive conceptual explorations of time and space by 2025 and 2026. It's just an incredible intellectual leap to make in a 5-year window. So, starting right at the beginning. Section 1, Ecoterrorism in the Pandemic, a Local View.
We kick things off in 2020 with a highly localized study looking at how the COVID-19 pandemic affected ecotourism right in the Jalawar district of Rajasthan. And, wow, check out that number. A 67.64% drop in overseas tourists during the lockdown. As you can probably guess, that was a massive, immediate economic blow to a local community that really depends on those visitors.
But here's where it gets interesting. Dr. Sen's 2020 paper in the Ajanta Journal doesn't just tally up the financial ruin, it actually frames this fascinating story of a local ecosystem finally catching its breath. Yeah, the negative impacts, like massive economic loss and unemployment, are brutal, but look at the positive side. A huge drop in pollution and, my personal favorite, the fearless movement of animals. It's just a beautiful, nuanced look at how nature aggressively rebounds the second we humans just step back for a minute.
Let's see how this local observation scales up. Section 2. Plant ecology and climate, the broader impacts.
Moving to 2021, Dr. Sen co-authored a paper in the International Journal of Innovative Research in Science, Engineering, and Technology. This paper, right alongside his work in the book Plant Ecology and Environmental Interactions, really spells out the core philosophy of ecotourism. It's all about figuring out that incredibly delicate balance between the sheer, massive scale of the travel industry and our vital ecological responsibility.
And to put that scale into perspective, grab onto this number, 1.6 billion. With a 4.1% growth rate, tourism was on track to generate 1.6 billion tourists globally by 2020. I mean, when you've got 1.5 billion people moving around the globe, having strict, sustainable definitions of ecotourism isn't just some nice-to-have policy. It is absolutely crucial if we want to protect fragile indigenous environments from basically being loved to death.
Now we're scaling up to national environmental policy. Section 3, the green desert paradox, when green isn't good. This brings us to Dr. Sen's 2026 article in the Vigyan Setu e-magazine, which challenges a huge visual bias pretty much all of us have. We naturally think, hey, green means healthy, right? But take a look at the stark divide in this image. You've got the dry, natural land on the left and that incredibly thick artificial green wall on the right. This perfectly captures a massive debate raging right now in places like Tamil Nadu and Gujarat over planting foreign species, specifically Conocarpus trees, along our highways. Which brings us directly to the concept of a green desert. It is completely counterintuitive. Sure, those highway dividers look beautifully lush and green to us, but they're actually an ecological void. Because these aggressive foreign plants lack native biodiversity, they literally offer nothing to the local insects, the birds, or even the soil health. It's a total illusion of life that's actually threatening the real local ecosystem. All right, hold on, because now we are taking our first dramatic leap off the planet entirely. Section 4, Ancient Texts and Time Dilation, Bridging Myth and Physics. Here, we see Dr. Sen exploring the wild intersections of some completely different disciplines. In his 2025 article for Vigyan Setu, he tackles the incredibly complex concept of time dilation. Now, usually, when we're looking for early theories on astrophysics, we don't grab a book of ancient mythology, right? But Dr. Sen points out how ancient Indian texts actually contain these fascinating, incredibly sophisticated early thought experiments about the fundamental nature of time. This comparison brilliantly illustrates that conceptual overlap. On the left side, you've got Albert Einstein's relativity, the physics proving that time passes differently based on gravitational fields and relative velocity. But then, on the right, you have Hindu mythology. We're talking about stories like King Muchakanda and King Kakudmi, who supposedly travel into space to fight for deities, only to come back to Earth and discover that entire epochs, whole yugas, have passed them by. Just think about that for a second. It's wild to realize that human imagination was grappling with the mind-bending relativity of time centuries before we ever had particle accelerators or quantum math actually prove it.
And finally, we hit the ultimate macro scale in Dr. Sen's 2026 writings. Section 5, Asteroids and the Alvarez Hypothesis, Cosmic Origins.
In this compelling piece, Dr. Sen revisits the famous 1980 Alvarez hypothesis. That's the groundbreaking theory by the father-son duo Luis and Walter Alvarez, proposing that a massive asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. But Dr. Sen doesn't just stop at established history, he brings in some mind-bending new evidence. Recent studies are actually suggesting that this infamous dinosaur-killing asteroid wasn't just some local rock from our own cosmic backyard. It might have originated entirely outside our solar system. We know this because they found traces of heavy elements like plutonium on Earth, stuff that could only be forged in distant supernova or, the spectacular collisions of neutron stars.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer today. As we wrap up this look at Dr. Sen's incredible intellectual progression, literally going from tracking local tourist numbers and indigenous plants in Rajasthan all the way out to pondering plutonium-laced asteroids from deep space, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought. If the rock that reset the entire history of life on Earth actually came from beyond our solar system, what other interstellar materials are secretly shaping our world today? It really makes you look up at the night sky a little differently, doesn't it? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.